All right, we're going to try that again. I do not know what happened, but all of a sudden my internet went out and could not get back in. So I apologize for that. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. So I apologize. That was something beyond my control. All of a sudden the internet just stopped working. So if you can hear me, just let me know. So I am going to be doing a review of a comic book and how it was mailed. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know that you can hear me. If somebody in the comments section. Okay, so thank you. They can hear me. All right, guys. Yes, I apologize. That was something beyond my control. But there is a subscriber of mine named Corey. He sent a package. He wanted me to do a review on this. So I don't even know what's in here. He said he wanted to mail me a comic, but he also wanted me to do a review, and I keep doing it upside down. So I don't know how much you heard because it kept cutting out, and then all of a sudden the internet just stopped. So the first thing I want to say is this is the typical mailer you'll see in a lot of eBay and Amazon purchases. This is better than the manila envelopes, but as you can see, these are easily bendable, and that can leave an impression in these. So the first thing I would always recommend is, if you can, like you see here, they put a do not bend, that helps. They put a fragile sticker, that helps. Another thing I would recommend on all areas, front and back, write the words do not crush. But what I would also do is I would add 2 pieces of cardboard on both sides to make it a little bit thicker, because this can easily bend. And if you can bend it, the mailman can bend it. So this is obviously better than somebody sending in a manila envelope. So you could see any of the damage has been around the corners and edges and everything. Another thing I would recommend is you want to seal this in case there's water damage. Because a lot of times, and I've had this happen, where postal workers, when it's raining, will just leave it at your front stoop. So put tape all across here, here, and wherever there is a seal to prevent any water. So if that happens, it does not destroy the comic. Another thing I do is on the address, I will take a piece of clear tape and I will tape over the address. So this way it makes it much more difficult to be ripped, or if it smears or what have you, if they put a bunch of boxes and somehow a corner just kind of scrubs off part of it, putting clear tape over the address is definitely something that's going to protect it from being lost. And I do want to say really quick, because Harvey is here. Yeah, and he says, I'm closing in on 8,000 subs. I'm very happy about that, so thank you. Harvey was nice enough to send me a card, and it was a housewarming card. So I got that. I went yesterday to my office. It was there, and I wanted to say personally, Harvey, thank you very much for that. That's what I love about you guys. Such nice people that come to my channel, and really appreciated this. And Harvey says his laptop booted him off as well. So it might not have just been my computer. But Harvey, quick shout out to you. Thank you for that. All right, so like I said, I don't know what's in here. But also, Corey, when you watch this, please post the link to your channel. So this way people can subscribe. So he wanted me to do a review based on the things that he sells and how he ships them. Okay. All right, another thing I noticed, and because he wanted an honest review. If you notice, as soon as I open this, this slid out. Now, yes, it's got some bag, it's got a bag around it and everything. What I would recommend is tape this to the sides of the book so it doesn't move around. Because as careful as we are going to be when we mail them, post office is going to throw this around. I've seen it. Even if I handed it to a postal worker and it has all the do not bends, do not crushes, fragile, they'll take it and they'll toss it to the side. And that's what they're doing in front of people. Just imagine what they do when no one's looking. So tape this down. And what you do is you take a piece of tape and just fold the edges over. So this way it's easy access to pull it back up again. The blue painter's tape is the best way to go. All right. I would not recommend this protection over it. The reason being is this a lot of times is self-adhesive, and if it gets stuck, if you don't have a knife or somebody tries to pull it, a lot of times when you pull it, you bend the comic. So that's not necessary. I mean, it's nice, but trust me, a few pieces of tape with like what you see here is going to be plenty that you will need. The good thing about this is it will stop any moisture from coming in, unless, of course, there is an opening. All right, so they did the blue painter's tape, and like I suggested, you see here, they actually did a little bit of a fold, so it's easy to pull up. Because a lot of times people damage their comics by trying to pull off the tape, and while they're pulling the tape, it pulls the cardboard, and if the cardboard isn't very thick, it's going to end up damaging it. Now, there is cardboard. I would add 1 or 2 more pieces. So, the more the better. All right, they put a little thank you card. Now, I don't know if that's a normal thing that you do, but whatever. Regardless, that is awesome. You're definitely going above and beyond. All right, so they wrote, Corey writes, thank you for all you do for the community of comic lovers. Thank you, Corey. And his channel's name is Saturday Night Comics, and it's night with a K. So, you know, like the Black Knight. So Saturday Night Comics, please go subscribe to him. So he writes, it's an okay copy. My standards are high. It has spine ticks that break color, but it's okay. My point is to show how to properly pack a loose book. And there you go. All right, so thank you for the card. I really appreciate that. And let's see what the book is. Now, you also see, this is something I highly recommend. He taped it to the book. One thing I would do is, this is what I do. I put 2 here, 2 here for the edges, and 1 on each side. The more the better. You don't have to even use tape if you put it in a bag, but a loose bag. All right, so we put it in a nice... He put backing boards on both. Looks like halfbacks. Little thank you sticker. So you could definitely go above and beyond, which financially, you know, that's going to cost you a lot of money. You don't have to go that high to do this. All right, so there you go. Cool little sensational She-Hulk number 40. So thank you for that. That was very nice of you. And we know that the She-Hulk is going to be in the Marvel TV universe. And I'm sure eventually, if it goes well, they'll end up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But overall, I would say, out of a 10, I'd give that about an 8.5. Because there's a couple of things that, you know, you're kind of doing overkill, which isn't necessary, because it will cost you extra money in the long run. And, you know, if you're selling books to make money, you don't want to have a high overhead. So there's ways to simplify it a little bit. Concentrate more on the cardboard and the protection around the edges of the book, and you should be fine. So this is way better than somebody who's just sending it, like, for example, somebody who would just mail it in something like this, put 1 piece of cardboard, if you're lucky. So there's definitely room to go in the right direction. But I like I said, this is definitely good to very good. So if I was grading this on a CGC level, 0.5 being, you know, garbage and 10 being a, you know, gem mid perfect job, I would say this is roughly about an 8.5, which is definitely doable, very acceptable. But like I said, cut your costs. You don't have to go as extreme with some of the things that you're doing. It's nice, but it's going to cost you in the long run or on your overhead. Concentrate more on what's inexpensive, and that's the cardboard and the thickness. Because if you see these are very thin. They're not going to give a lot of support overall, and you have to assume that a postal worker is not going to be nice about your comics. So even if you write fragile and things like that, some of them just ignore it. So you have to say to yourself, when you're mailing something, would you want your comic mailed with whatever the way it was shipped to you? So this is definitely in the step in the right direction. It needs a little bit more work. Like I said, what I would do is I would, for example, after I had that in there, I would put the 2 pieces of cardboard, extra 2, on the outside. Because if you can do a bend test, that means it could get potentially damaged. Somebody might try and force this into a mailbox, because some mailboxes are kind of tall, and they might be just big enough. And I've had this happen because I have that kind of mailbox where they'll shove this in on an angle. That could bend this. So if it is still bendable, that means the comic could potentially get damaged. So you're in the right direction. This is definitely a good start. I would focus again, like I said, more cardboard, less of the frills to save yourself money, because in the end, people generally just care about if the comic arrives safely. The amenities are nice, but it's just a lot of overhead for you. So, I mean, if you're making 30 sales a day and you're making thousands of dollars, then hey, God bless you, do that above and beyond. But if you're somebody that's struggling or only selling a few books or not enough to make supreme amounts of profits, you want to watch your overhead, because it seems like nice, but if you're losing your profit from it, overall that's going to end up hurting your business. So thank you for this comic. That was very nice of you. Please subscribe to his channel. Corey, when you watch this, make sure you put the link to your channel. I do have a video on this channel under my tips and playlists about how I send my comics out. So if you want to check that out, Corey, if you want to check that out, or anybody wants to, please do. Don't forget, I'm selling my mystery boxes and my comics that are on the website. The link is right here. If anybody can share it, that would be great. So overall, not a bad job. I appreciate the card. And also, Harvey, like I said, thank you so much for the card for our move. We are moving Saturday night. So just around the corner, less than a week away. I'm very excited. And I want to try and make as many videos as I can. I don't know how long it will be before I make a video to once we move, but I'll try and do it as fast as I can. If I can control it, I want it to be no more than a week tops. So check my channel periodically if you haven't hit the notification button. Even if you have checked periodically, because you know how YouTube is, many channels you'll have the notification button and you still won't get notifications. Hit the like button if you appreciate this. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out, and we will be on our merry way. So, Lee Smith, the closer for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the 80s and 90s, you are today's surprise subscriber shout out. Everybody give them a little shout out. And if you want to be one, you don't have to be a subscriber, but I hope you will. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you have a great time. I hope this helped Corey a little bit better, because the frills are nice, but stick to the security of the comic, and you'll win everybody over again and again, but definitely a step in the right direction. Let me know what you thought, any opinions or things that you can add to what I talked about in this mini review. And don't forget, it's not you, it is not I, it's we love comics, and we appreciate people like Harvey, Corey, and all of you. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you next video.